Hey guys, as of this video, it is August 22nd, 2016, and if you watched my last video where I shared my thoughts on the 2016-17 Heritage Classic jerseys unveiled by the Jets and Oilers, I mentioned in that video that my 30th YouTube video would be completely different from anything that I have done in the past year and a bit since I posted my first video and started my channel. So, anyways, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the past year of my channel. And I'm going to be doing a review of the past year with my channel and a little bit of a background about how it came to be, where some of the things in my channel began to change, and how some of the things came to life. And I'm also going to touch base on a few things that I'm looking to do down the road. And to kind of give you viewers out there a little bit of an idea of what you can expect. And also, I want to talk about a few things that I've learned in the past few months since I've been making more and more videos, and some of the things that I've learned and some of the things that I look forward to doing in the next year from now, over the next year from August 2016, which we're currently at as of this video, to August of 2017, which is next year. Actually, it's a bit less because it's the 22nd of August, but anyways, you get the point. But I just want to quickly mention one more thing before I really get going. And it's that this video does not have any news-related stories. It's not a news-related. It's not a news-related video. It has no news. It's just about me talking about my channel. And I also want to mention that this video is more directed towards my regular viewers who are not subscribed, if I have any, and of course my subscribers. And if this is the very first video on my channel that you have ever watched, you're probably going to find that this video may be a waste of your time, and it's probably not going to be a video that you're really going to want to watch, because it's me just talking about my channel. However, if you want to sit through it and watch it and you actually end up enjoying it, that's great too. And if you've never watched any of my previous 29 videos and this is your first one and you want to watch it start to finish, hats off to you, because I'm honored that anyone who's never seen my channel before would want to sit there and listen to me talk about my channel over the past year. So the reason why I'm mentioning that too is because, I absolutely hate it when I find misleading titles on videos or clickbait, or random videos that I stumble upon, that I click on to watch and end up being completely disappointed because they wasted my time completely. And I just don't want anyone to randomly come on to see this video and have it be the very first video of mine that they've ever watched and end up being very, very disappointed with it. I'd rather warn people than have them end up watching the whole thing and just come away from it being very disappointed. So that's why I'm just throwing that out there, and it's just out of respect, because I know how it feels to watch videos that have bad clickbait or misleading titles or random videos I stumble upon out of curiosity that just end up being a waste of my time. But anyways, what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to talk about my very first video and how that came to be. So in late July of last year, I was I was at a point where I kind of realized that there were very, very few people that online that really talk about jerseys. And I've been on some online chat groups, and sometimes I'm still in them from time to time, not as much anymore. But, I find that sometimes they talk about random things that I don't really want to talk about as much. And I find that in terms of news-related topics, I find that besides a few blog sites, one main website here and maybe another main site here and a blog site here, there really aren't a lot of places that really talk about jerseys. And I'm somebody who really loves jerseys, and even in my own personal life, I honestly don't know anybody who is into jerseys the way I am. And that's something that's been kind of frustrating for myself, because sometimes I feel a little bit like a misfit when I'm around other friends of mine who are huge hockey fans, because I feel like I'm passionate about one part of the game while they're passionate about something else, and I feel like I'm out of touch sometimes. And, out of all the people I know, sometimes they like a certain jersey over another, or sometimes they'll talk about the odd jersey because they know how much I'm into jerseys, but they don't really care. Maybe they have one or two jerseys. I have a few jerseys. I know a few people that have a few different jerseys as well. But I don't know anybody who wants to go out and find random jerseys and collect them because they think it's a nice jersey. They're more into collecting jerseys of their favorite team that they like from their favorite team. And also, friends of mine and a lot of people that I've met in my own life, they could honestly care less if a new jersey that comes out honors a team's tradition, or if the jersey looks good. They'll end up either buying it just because it's the newest and latest thing, or they honestly would just not care. They honestly could care less what the team does with their jerseys. And, they'll go out and buy a new jersey just because it just came out. They honestly could care less if it honors the traditions of a team, or if it's even part of their color scheme, or anything like that. I'll even use the Detroit Red Wings Stadium Series jersey as an example from this past 2015-16 season. There's people like me who are passionate about jerseys, and I would tell you that it was an awful jersey because I absolutely hated the way the Red Wings took such a gargantuan departure from the traditional looks that they've had over since 1926 as the Detroit Red Wings. And they've never done anything as unconventional as this. And as some people may argue that it's cool to see a team as traditional as Detroit try something completely new, which I do get that side of the argument, but for myself, I would argue that jersey's awful. Not only because it doesn't look good, in my opinion, but to see a team with such classic uniforms as Detroit does, to see them go with something so unconventional and something so new that nobody's ever done it before with a diagonal sash, it just doesn't look right to me. And even though as much as I honestly thought the jersey was a total train wreck, I gotta say, as I said in my second part of my 3-part outdoor jersey video series I finally wrapped up a few days ago, the logo that the Red Wings came up with for that jersey is actually pretty damn good. And I hope that if Detroit plays in another Stadium Series game, that they'll use that logo, except they'll put it on a far more traditional design. But anyways, now going back onto what I was saying about my first video, I thought it'd be really cool to try making a video just to share my thoughts and see if other people would be interested. And I thought it would be a nice little outlet. And in the past year, I found that it actually has become a nice little outlet to talk about jerseys with other people. And I'm going to be honest, I've really enjoyed having conversations with other YouTubers just to hear other people's opinions on things. I find that is one thing that I've really enjoyed. But truth is, when I posted my first video, I honestly did not care about views or interest. I just did it mainly for kicks. Just to say that, you know what? Hey, I've made and uploaded a video to post online. Because I've known so many people who've done it and they've told me it's been a lot of fun. So you know what? I thought it'd be cool to give it a try myself. And I thought, you know what? I absolutely love sports jerseys. So why not do something with that? So I made that video for that reason, to not only to try it out, but also because of the lack of interest about jerseys that I've found from people I know in my own life, plus the fact that some people on some of these online blogs and chat forums that I've been on that just talk about jerseys, you know, because some of the things that I read on there's a lot of things sometimes that I really don't agree with when they're coming from certain people. And sometimes, you know, sometimes I read blog posts or news updates and there's certain things that I don't like about some of them. And I thought, you know what, why don't I try something on my own just to see what maybe I think of it, and maybe to see if other people like it too, just to maybe see something a little bit different. And you know what? That's when I made my first video. And the truth is, I made the first video thinking that, you know what? In the first year of my channel, if after 1 year, if that video has 40 to 75 views, you know what? I'll make a second video about the same thing and see if people are interested. But I posted that first video and I checked it 24 hours later after posting it, and something happened that I was absolutely not expecting for a second. And I tuned in the next day to check my viewer count on that video, and it had 36 views in slightly over 24 hours. And when I saw that, I was wondering if I still had sand in my eyes or if I was seeing things, because I was not expecting it. And I was just like, what? No way. 36 views already? No, that couldn't be possibly happening. And I was just like, wow, I wasn't expecting this. And then I checked a few hours later, and I had over 40 views in slightly over 24 hours, in about like 36 hours, a day and a half. And I was in total shock, and I was so blown away that, you know what, I watched the video again, and I noticed that I missed a few jersey changes that off-season, or last off-season, a year ago. And I decided to make a second video to test the waters to see if there was any real legitimate interest in these videos of mine, and it wasn't just random people viewing them just because they popped up and were kind of attractive news titles or anything like that. And I posted that second video, and to my amazement, it actually did all right too. So you know what, after seeing those two videos and then all of a sudden seeing my first video jump over 60 views, you know what, I to myself, I was just like, you know what, I gotta make a third video. So I decided to try my hand at the NFL's jersey changes last off season, before the 2015-16 season, because I love football jerseys as well, and I love the NFL and I love the CFL. So I made that third video, and it actually didn't do too bad either. So after that, you know, because I really like the CFL, I decided to make a video about the home and away jerseys as of 2015. And compared to my first 3 videos, that video never did very well. And it didn't have as much interest, and I was expecting that, because the Canadian Football League is nothing compared to the NFL in terms of popularity, and that's understandable. But after that, with the CFL's signature jerseys, I thought, you know what, I'll make a two-part video series. I'll make up one part about the East and one part about the West. And I enjoyed making those two videos myself, but once again, just like the first CFL video, the view counts weren't very good. And you know what? At that point in time, I realized that not too many people had much interest in the CFL. But the truth is, I was expecting that. I just did those more for fun. But then I decided, you know what? I'll make one more video, and if the viewer counts die down after that, I'll take a break. So after that, I made a video about the NHL video games and their lack of certain jerseys that I would like to see. Like, for example, the San Jose Sharks original jerseys. Some of the more recent EA Sports NHL games have been kind of missing those. They've been missing some of the older jerseys, and they've even taken some of the newer third jerseys out now that they're not even in circulation or in use by certain teams any longer. Such as the Buffalo Sabres' infamous Turdberger jersey. Like, I believe NHL 15, or I think it was NHL 16, I can't remember. One of those two, maybe even both. You can't even use the Buffalo Sabres third jersey anymore. Maybe they fixed it, maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe they fixed it, but last time I checked, they didn't have it, and I was kind of disappointed. Because there's certain jerseys that I like to play with just for the sake of changing things up. And sometimes just to have a quick laugh. Like, I'll use an ugly jersey sometimes just for kicks. Just for a quick laugh sometimes. Like, it's kind of, sometimes I make fun of my friends when I'm playing with certain jerseys and they're losing like 6-0. That's if I'm having a really good game. That usually doesn't happen very often, but anyway. So I made that 7th video. And my first video was getting close to 100 views. So you know what? I thought to myself, I'll make a few more videos. So I made a video after that about ads on pro sports jerseys. I was pissed off with the news about the NHL considering it, and I hope it doesn't happen. It's bad enough that the damn NBA is going to do it. So it pisses me off because it has a domino effect. Once one domino falls, the rest are going to fall right after. And it's so frustrating because I think these leagues make more than enough money that they don't need to put ads on the jerseys too. But anyway. So after that, I made a video about the NHL's goal horns and how they could be better. And the thing about that video was that it was actually the first video that had audio or visuals from start to finish. Like, I had a CFL video where there was a quick shot of my legs as I was walking to one part of my room. But anyway, I thought it was cool that I had my first video with footage. And the view count for that at the time did really well, so I decided to try doing more visual footage. But after that, I talked about the NHL's expansion, and then I talked about the NFL's Color Rush uniforms last year before Christmas on Christmas Eve. And that video did not start with a lot of views, but in the past few months, now that the Color Rush is now well known across fan bases in the NFL, that video's view count has now reached 250 views, and the truth is, I was blown away to see that earlier today. But after that video, I decided, you know what, I'll make 4 more videos just to see how it goes. So I made 2 videos about my final thoughts on the NHL's 2015-16 jerseys, since all of them were finally unveiled. But between those 2 videos, I made a video about the All-Star Game controversy with a player named John Scott in the NHL. And that video got over 65 views in 24 hours. And I know it's kind of tough to believe. It had about 62 views in the first 2 or 3 days after making that video, and then ever since it's completely died down, where I get like 1 view every few weeks if I'm lucky. But it's not a big deal, but I understand it. I posted it right while it was hot off the press, and that video did surprisingly well. But then I decided, you know what, I'll make a 15th video and after that I'll take a break. If the view counts aren't really going up. So I made that video about the St. Louis Rams relocation and my thoughts on that, because the NFL has not had a relocation in a very long time, so I thought it would be worth the time, so I made it. But the view count did okay. But after that video, something happened. Like a few days later, I went to check on my view count for all of my videos, and I noticed that I had 1 subscriber, and at the time my jaw dropped. Like, I was not expecting it. And a couple days later, I noticed that the subscriber number was at 2. And I was just like, what? Is this really happening? So I was so blown away that I decided to quickly put together another video about the World Cup of Hockey jerseys. That video has not only done well in recent weeks, but I enjoyed making it. Also because it was Adidas' very first crack at hockey jerseys, now that they're taking over the NHL's jersey contract. So I thought that was cool. Then I made a second straight video about Adidas, and I talked about them getting the NHL and CFL jersey contracts. That was a fun video. Then I talked about the 2016-17 NHL jersey changes and what is known so far. Now that video was the turning point in my channel's history so far, because not only is that my most viewed video by a country mile, but the truth is, I'm less than 125 views away from 1,000 views on that video alone, and I never thought for a second that I'd even have one video that has come that close to 1,000 views in such a short period of time ever. So that really blew me away, and I can't even believe it's reached that high. But after that video, that's when I noticed that my subscriber number really took a huge jump. So after that, I made a rant on the Minnesota Wild's jerseys. That video was very slow in terms of views, but that one actually has picked up lately, and I'm pleasantly surprised because I think the Minnesota Wild's jerseys, something needs to be done, especially now that they just brought out that Stadium Series jersey. Like, that needs to at least replace their current green jersey as a third. Like, the fact that the Wild have not made any changes to their home and third jerseys by now is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. But anyway, after that I made a video about the Florida Panthers' new logo. That video actually has recently broke 500 views, which I was not expecting. And my very first video has actually reached 145 views, and no other video even came close to breaking that number until I posted that What Is Known So Far video. And that blew me away when I saw that video completely jump way ahead of my very first video in such a short time, especially for how long that video, my first video, held the title as being my most viewed video, so that blew me away. But after the Florida Panthers logo video, I made 2 videos about the new 2016 CFL uniforms now that Adidas has taken over as the new jersey contract, or now that they've taken the jersey contract for the Canadian Football League. And honestly, I can't believe I honestly cannot believe that I have a CFL jersey video that has now broken 100 views. And because of how shockingly good my view counts have been for those videos, down the road I will probably make a few more CFL jersey videos. But compared to the NHL and NFL, don't expect as many, just because of the fact that that league is not as popular. Not anywhere near as popular as the NFL or the NHL for that matter. But after that, I also talked about the Panthers' new uniforms right after they unveiled their logo. A couple months after, Florida unveiled their new jerseys, and I thought the Panthers' new jerseys were kind of meh. I did not like that they were half finished. And one person in the comments section of that video mentioned that leaving them half finished makes them more original than Montreal. And I see where that person's coming from, but the thing is, I'd rather they copy Montreal with the full chest stripe than have it looked half finished. And I think a red stripe on the white jersey and a white chest stripe on the red jersey is different enough that Florida can get away with it. And you know what? The fact that they have a chest stripe actually is a copy of Montreal anyway. So if they're going to copy it, they might as well make it look half decent and actually make the stripe go all the way around. But anyways, after that I talked about Las Vegas getting an NHL expansion team, which that's coming soon, and I'm interested to see how that plays out. Then I made a video about the 2016-17 NHL jerseys and what's been unveiled as of this past NHL draft. And that video was interesting because one commenter told me that a little bit of the story about the Maple Leafs' new hanger effect on the inside of the collars of their new uniforms. And I really learned a lesson from that video from that one commenter, because the truth is I've had this tendency in the past year, and it's something that I learned from that video, that sometimes there's certain details about jerseys that I don't like. And just because one other team decides to do it doesn't mean it's bad. And I painted that hanger effect with the same brush as the Carolina Hurricanes Hurricane Stripe hanger effect, and the Coyotes' new uniforms having the Kachina striping on the inside of their collar, and the Islanders having their Brooklyn jersey have a blue and orange stripe on the inside of their collar. And the reason I haven't liked the hanger effects is because those teams have used those hanger effects to say, hey, we kept our classic Hurricane and Kachina stripes on our jerseys, or in Arizona's case, we've put them back on the jerseys to honor our history. Well, they're on the jersey, but they're not actually on the jersey that we see. So it's kind of a lie. And I hate it when teams like Carolina, who got rid of their unique Hurricane stripe, and it was the one thing that actually made them unique in this group of teams that they're with that have red and black in their color scheme. And it was the one thing that allowed Carolina to stand out, and they got rid of it just to wear super simple jerseys. And as much as I like their road jersey, it just isn't right for the Carolina Hurricanes. And those hanger effects bothered me, and I thought those were gimmicky. And I learned from that one video recently, from that one commenter, and I want to thank them, because I learned that, you know what, I gotta learn to stop painting everything with the same brush just because there's certain aspects of jerseys that I don't like because other teams have done them. And that was a lesson that I'm so glad that I learned, and I want to thank that commenter once again, because honestly, I think I needed to learn that, not only from a video making standpoint, but on a personal standpoint too. Because, you know, sometimes I get frustrated when I see certain things go on with uniforms and stuff, or certain things in sports. And just because one team does it and it's not very good, doesn't mean that another team's going to do it and it's going to be bad too. Like, I'm talking about like certain trades for certain players in certain positions. And, you know, that was something that I think has really been a good eye-opener for myself, and I'm glad that I had that conversation. But anyways, I also, after that, I talked about Hockey Night in Canada's personnel shakeups, because I thought those needed to happen, and as somebody who's watched Hockey Night in Canada since I was a little kid, it was actually the thing that got me into hockey as a kid. You know, I really wanted to talk about it. Then I made my recent outdoor NHL jersey series. And finally, since I fixed my computer's problems, now that I can make videos again, I was able to get that series finally done. But anyways, in the first year of my channel, I ended up finishing with over 3,000 views. I wasn't even expecting 30 views. So I got like 100 times the amount of views I was even expecting. And I cannot believe the response that I've gotten from my first year. I wasn't even expecting 1 subscriber, and now as of today I have 23 subscribers. Like, that's amazing, and I just want to thank all of you subscribers and all of you viewers out there. Like, I can't believe how many people have watched my videos in the first year of my channel. And I just hope that everyone, for the most part, has been enjoying my videos. And, you know, I always do my best to make them somewhat educational and somewhat interesting. And that's also why I split the recent outdoor video that I made that was 45 minutes long into a 2-part series with a bonus 3rd video, because I'd rather make videos with some substance and some interesting information than one really long, boring video. But anyways, down the road, my next video, to the 1 subscriber who suggested it to me, my next video will be about my top 10 favorite jerseys, for sure. I wanted to make the 3rd outdoor jersey video because the Jets and Oilers just unveiled it, and I was talking about outdoor jerseys anyway, so I figured, you know what, why not post it? So that's why I did it. But also, I want to, in the next few weeks or even the next couple of months, I want to make a video about basketball and about baseball jerseys. And there's an MLB jersey I want to talk about, or MLB teams jerseys that I want to talk about. Plus there's a few things in the NBA that I also want to talk about. And I usually try to avoid sports like those because I'm not as familiar with those, and I'm not as interested in those, and I don't follow basketball or baseball. But you know what, I thought it'd be cool to maybe try a video of each just on a trial run basis to see how those go, and if they do well and people enjoy them, I'll probably end up doing more of them down the road. But besides my top 10 favorite hockey jerseys, which is my next video, I'm also going to talk about something to do with the San Jose Sharks, Team Canada's new hockey jerseys, and I also want to talk about something else to do with the NHL's World Cup of Hockey that's coming up in the next few weeks. But on that note, I'm going to end this video, and I hope that all of you regular viewers and subscribers out there enjoyed it, and until I make my next video, as always, take care and bye for now. And on a final note, thank you for the past year. I have really enjoyed making these videos, and it's been so much fun talking to quite a few people about jerseys on here, and I am really looking forward to making more videos down the road. Anyways, as always, take care, and once again, bye for now, and I hope you enjoyed this video.